All right, Steve, maybe your first thoughts after a pretty good week last week.
Yeah, good week. Slowly getting healthy. Players on the team too, and ready to get back to work and have a good practice today. We practiced a little bit yesterday, but more of a split group. Give them another little bit day off. We just went for an hour individual workout, and they lifted weights. And excited to just get ourselves better today, and we'll do a little bit with Edwardsville and get more into them tomorrow, and get ready to play on Thursday. So it's a big week. We got another big one on Thursday. Edwardsville has been playing well. They're a tough matchup for us, so we've got to be locked in.
Questions? I guess Ryan's got the mic.
One of the things that kind of made me comfortable in the past few games, you get up kind of big towards the end, the other team comes back. What do you need to do to be able to achieve that?
I got an email from a fan today telling me what I needed to do, so I'm going to read it to my guys. It's funny. I got a phone call at halftime of the Colorado State game ripping me about the job we were doing. So, we've been up, I think, the last two games, 20+. The game before that was the Martin game. So really up 11 at half. We've got to do a better job. I mean, we're not being, I think it really stems from turnovers. It's just lackadaisical, poor decision-making. And we're giving up a ton of points off bad turnovers. Not even really poor shot selection. A little bit shot selection, but more just the turnovers. And they're killing us, and it's just lackadaisical and not being locked in. I bet watching the tape yesterday with the guys in our film session, I bet we gave up 30 points off turnovers. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. And so we got to change that. We got to correct it. But we hadn't practiced in a while either. And I'm looking forward to getting out and practicing today and more game stuff, game mode stuff, practice instead of just some core drills. We're going to really do a lot of game stuff and try to get them a little bit sharper. So we do have to finish people off. We can't be up 20 and let people get it down to 6. We can't get too casual. We got to finish everybody off when we get them down. And so that's one area we do have to get better in.
19 wins in a row. Hasn't gotten boring yet.
No, because there's no room for error. I mean, if we had a 5-game, 6-game lead, yeah, it still wouldn't be boring. But there's no room for error. And I told people the year we had the great run, we lost our first conference game, and the world was coming to an end, and you still hadn't won your conference. You may not make the NCAA tournament, and so we got a lot still to play for. And you just got to try to get our 12th conference win Thursday, and that's it. It's no more than that. And we just got to try to keep our lead like we've got it. And so still 5 games to play. We take them one at a time. But the run is great. But it's something I think you look back at the end. We want to win a conference championship. We hadn't done that yet.
Talk about the bench a little bit. Have you figured them out in layman's terms? Have you figured out what you need to do at specific times? And then just real quick to talk about deciphering Justin, we know what he does. But Wayne and Rambo are still trying to get slow-mo coming along.
Yeah, I think Justin is Justin, like you said. Do we need the microphone? We're only 5 feet apart.
For the others.
Well, that's all we have it on.
Oh, okay. All right,
so
my
your
fault.
dad can hear the question.
All right. So, I thought that was so I could hear. I think Wayne's probably the most improved. I think he's really separated himself as the 7th guy right now. And the thing about it is what he's doing is he's rebounding. And that's the thing, you stress to Tyler is you got to rebound. We don't need the scoring punch from 7, 8, 9. We need defense, and rebounding. And then take care of the ball, make good decisions. And so I think Wayne's really made strides, and happy for him in that regards. Tyler, in his minutes played the last couple games, has been solid for us. And so that's good in that direction. He was struggling a little bit, and, he actually had a really good first half. He gave up an open 3 in the P game that he shouldn't have. But I thought the rest of the time he played, I thought he had some good minutes out there. Flomo, he's not a freshman anymore, so I don't want to sit here and just say, he's a freshman. He's got to get better in his decision-making. He's got to get better in running half-court offense. He's got to make open shots. We've had a lot of success over the several years because we've had great guards, and he's got to take another step. That's just how it is. You know, those guys have a lot of freedom. He's got to make plays. He's got to make good shots. He's got to take and make good shots. The one thing I think he is doing a good job defensive, though, I think he's been solid for us.
Edwardsville team, really true Jekyll and Hyde, 8-3 at home, there's 1-10 on the road. Your experience, what is it for a team to take that next step where they can win the road games and become a really solid team in both areas?
You know, you could say experience, veteran leadership, great defense. I mean, there's a lot of the coaches' cliches you probably could. You know, confidence. I talked with Lennox about that a little bit after our game up there. It's just, or before the game as well, just trying to figure out how he could get his team to play better on the road. And so, fortunately, you know, we've had some good road streaks in teams. You know, one year we didn't lose. This year, I think, what are we, 9-1? Have the most road wins in the country. And so, I think it's just a credit to, you know, your guys' toughness and their character and their ability to believe they can win, the environment not being a big factor for them, embracing the environment. I think we've embraced the road environment. I think we've played in some good environments. And so, you know, Edwardsville's good. They're a team, they don't put any bad players out there on the floor. You know, they don't put, I said this at the beginning, they don't put any, they may not put Campaign out there, but they put a lot of really just good pieces to where Stewart can make shots, Davis can make shots, Nunn can make a play, Jackson can do some things inside. And so I think they're well balanced to where you've got to guard at every position against them, and Messer too. You know, they don't put any bad players out there, so it makes them a tough matchup.
With the difficulty with all the sickness, has fatigue been a problem late in these games?
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of factors probably. The biggest factor, though, is making bad decisions, you know, and not, you know, just screwing around and being lackadaisical up 20, you know, and you can't do that. You got to still play the same way. You got to still execute press offense. You got to still defend. And, you know, the SEMO game was a typical example. Both teams kind of wanted the game to be over, but then you give them a couple turnovers and threes, and now it's 13, and they say, well, let's try to make a run at it. And, you know, if you take care of the ball, it doesn't get like that. And so, you know, the fatigue may be a factor a little bit. I mean, the guys have been tired. We hadn't been very healthy the last couple of weeks. But if you're getting up 20, you're doing some good things. You know, if you're getting up 20, especially on the road, you're doing some good things. And so, we just got to clean up the last 6-7 minutes.
Edwardsville has 5 seniors that play a lot of time, and sometimes those are very dangerous teams late in the season. Just discuss that.
Yeah, I like their team. You know, I think they're a team that's, I think they're 5-6 in the league. But if you watch their Martin game, they led, you know, basically almost the whole game. Eastern Illinois, they're up 2 with 30 seconds to go. And so they won at SEMO. You know, they could easily be 7-4, 8-3, you know, and be right there in the thick of things. And so they make shots. They got, you know, they were 9 for 25 the other night at Martin. They make shots. You know, they got size up front, you know, with Jackson. And so I like their team. This has been a tough matchup for us the last couple years. What makes him special is he's just really freaking good. I mean, he's just so well-rounded. He's got all the intangibles. He's got the character. He's a student athlete. He's got a great family. He's got great personality. I think I may be wrong. I think it's like 6-1 almost assist to turnover in conference play. And he leads us in scoring. And he gets about 2-3 steals a game. And instead of forcing big shots late, he makes the right decision and gives it up to Seymour for the 3. We've been blessed to coach him, you know, for however long we get to. He's been a special player, and he's terrific. And so he can get a lot better. You know, he's going to get bigger and stronger as he gets older in this game. He's going to be able to continue to increase his shot, his range. his IQ's so high. I don't know if that can get better. I mean, it's just he's got such a good feel for the game and understanding of the game. You know, he'll be a coach when he's done playing, I'm sure. But he's going to be playing for a long, long time. But, you know, he's just got it, man. He's just a special player and a special person, and lucky to coach him. And, you know, it's like Greg Popovich said. They asked him, man, about winning all them games. He said, I've coached a bunch of really good players, and that's why. I mean, you win games because you got really good players. That's just the reality of it. And it's why recruiting's so important, you know. And then you got to coach them and teach them and make them do right. But we've had some really good ones, and he's the next in line.
Off that, NBA scouts are here. It's something that you're used to. Do you talk to them about that at all? And, you know, how
I talked to Cam a long time ago, kind of when we were in that struggles, and we just said, hey, we talked about it. Obviously he knows what's going on. He's not naive to the what's going on, and his family isn't either. You know, they understand the process, and we just thought it'd be best. I'll sit down and visit with them at the end of the year and give him my input. And I mean, he's talented. I just, you know, I watch games, and he's as good as there is out there. And whatever's best interest for Cam and his family, then that's what we all need to support when the time's right. And
I need to ask that, but is that something that you're worried about that this could be?
Well, I'm not worried about it. If that happens, that's great for our program. It's great for Cam. Excited for him. But I think he's a smart kid, and he'll make the best decision for him that's going to make him successful in the league for 10, 12 years, not just 2, 3 years. And so just got to see what cards are, you know, get all the information. We'll get all the information. We have all the resources and all the people to talk to, and we'll get that when the time's right. But we don't have to worry about that until April.
I was going to ask all that.
Do you get any feedback from the scouts, or does that keep
Yeah.
to themselves?
Yeah, I get feedback, and some of my college coaches that I worked for at Alabama. One works for the Nets, one works for the Jazz. Got great relationships with them. My best friend, and coaches for the Wizards. So, you get a lot of feedback, and so, but it's not something I'll talk to him about all that stuff at the end of the year.
Basically, last month of the season, we talked about ramping up and getting up.
Yeah, 26 days now. 26 days to championship Saturday in Nashville, and we got to make one more 30-day push here, and of getting better and getting our team better. And I think these guys understand that, and they're ready to do it. And before all that's said and done, we want to hang a banner and win a regular season conference championship, and then go from there. And so see how far we can go. And so we do got to clean some things up. We're not a perfect product. But our team's perfect right now in conference, and so that's a positive, and hopefully we can continue that way.
Coach, what do you think has contributed to Wayne off the bench and kind of his improvement this year?
Well, he wasn't here this summer. He had to graduate from junior college, and so when you miss a whole summer, you come in, you're out of shape, you don't understand the expectations, you don't really understand the level that you're playing at, and most first-year junior college guys, unless they're, off the charts, just total impact guy, it takes him a semester, and I think it's taken him a semester to understand how hard you have to work and how much time you have to really put in, and how good Farrell and Jarvis are, and you just can't walk in and take their spots, because now he's starting to understand, hey, those two are leaving, and I have to fill that void next year, and there's a lot of big shoes to fill, and so we'll do some of it in recruiting, but he's given me a lot of positive thoughts going into next year that, hey, he can command one of those spots for sure. And I think he'll score more for us next year. He's just not a point of emphasis right now because we have 6 other guys that can get 10, 12 points.
Is it almost a blessing in disguise seeing him on the floor more with foul trouble, knowing that that's a guy that needs to play big minutes in the next 26 days?
Yeah, I think it's great. It's great that he's playing now, and it's great for the future as well. And so what it's given me is given us a lot of confidence in him. And so some of the matchups, if you're, East Kentucky, I told him, I said, hey, this is going to be a tough one for you because this is the matchups and different things. But, some of these games have been really good for him. And so I think the other night at P was a really good game for him. He could throw his body around. He rebounded. The biggest thing he's just doing now, he's rebounding 7, 8 rebounds a game, and that's huge for us. And that's how you earn minutes.
Coach, you're getting more attention in both polls after last week. This week you get much more than last week. Why do you think that is?
Probably because we've won 19 games in a row.
Is there a difference between that and 17?
You know, I just think the longer you, I think you just got to win games to get people's attention. And I think people know how good this program has been. I think people get a chance to watch us on TV over the last couple of weeks and see us. And I think people understand that there is a lot of parity in the BCS leagues when you really drop down from 4 to 12 in a lot of those leagues, 5 to 12, and that Murray's probably right there on that cusp. And so, you know, the only way you get respect in this business is win, and that's what you got to do. You just got to go out and win again. The problem is if you lose at our level, you know, they just stick a needle in your balloon, you know, and, you know, the problem is if you lose at that level, at the BCS level, you know, it's okay. And so we understand that. You got to embrace that, and you just got to win the next game in front of them.
Have you been able to pinpoint staff and his cramps lately in the last 2 weeks, and especially Saturday?
You know, not really. You know, Dr. Blaylock and Eric trying their best. Hopefully we can just manage it the best we can throughout the end of the year. He plays hard. He's been really, really good for us. He's had an amazing year, and he deserves all the accolades he gets.
Did they ever worry you? Did he worry you Saturday?
I did a little bit. I just said, man, I just told Doc Blaylock, I said, y'all got to get this fixed, man. We got to get this fixed. I don't know what y'all got to do, but we need to get him, make sure he's healthy for this stretch run, because he's not just, he's our best defensive perimeter player, but also right now he's been so good for us offensively outside of them crazy turnovers, but just he's been really, really good for us.
Hey, Coach, one more before we leave. You're hanging in there in the Infinity Coaches Challenge.
Yeah, we finish up, I think, the 15th. I think this Sunday it ends the second round, and you move on to the Sweet 16. I think today I voted, and I think we're in 12th. And it's been amazing to see all the support and people really go in there and vote every day. And if we can hunker down and really make a conscious effort to get on there and vote every day these last through Sunday and try to get into that Sweet 16, that'd be huge. And there's not much difference between 12 and 4 to where you can even make a push in that Final Four once we get into the 16, but there's no room for error right now. We got to really push the envelope to make sure we stay in that top 16. But I appreciate everybody's support.
All right, Steve. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.